The guy jumped right there, and I got a little nervous. I was like, I'm going to hit my head on something. I kind of ducked. How's everyone doing tonight? This NXL Lone Star Eve. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We got some things we can kind of Jimmy Jam. Jimmy John's? We need a Jimmy John's. Some brains. We're getting a soda. Give me a Jimmy John sandwich. Schwartz, Tyler, you beautiful, beautiful channel members. We're going to call that. We're going to call that Paintball channel members. How is everybody? Oh, hopefully well. I don't know why I'm breathing so hard. Maybe it was that jump. It's kind of hot in here. I might turn the air conditioner on in a minute. Yep. Where's everybody at? Are you going to watch the NXL this weekend? Or are you going to watch the National X-Ball League in Texas this weekend? And if you are, where are you going to watch? Some braids. Can we watch hot chicks riding mechanical bulls? I don't know. Maybe later. Carve from Minnesota. I was going to say New Mexico. You know, the M and the N together. Minnesota. NG are going to be watching in Seattle. I'm curious about, too, who actually cares about this stuff. You know, sometimes when we talk about, my audio is like super loud. We're going to pull that back just a little bit so we don't kill everybody and so the audio doesn't clip. Schwartz, you're in Panama. I don't know why I thought Panama for, Pennsylvania. Hey, they're from Syracuse, New York right now for a wedding. Upstate New York. Isn't Syracuse like the worst place on earth? You're going to watch those still good. Hopefully in the ceremony you're just like... You got like 14 chins. Just watching games. His audio died. Did my audio die? I see it coming right there. Tell me if you can't hear me. I don't know. Nope. I don't know. Some brains. Turn your, I don't know. Turn your audio up. EP, Eric, you're amazing. Eric also a freaking channel member and giving out the super chats as well, dude. What'd you say? What'd you say? In the sticks in Olivehurst. I thought you were gonna say, I don't know why I thought of Olive. Not Olive Garden. Brother Oliver's. Brother Oliver's used to be a like a Irish pub that was near me. I don't know why I'm thinking about that. Brother Oliver's. Eric, you're freaking awesome. You know who else is freaking awesome? BFP gear right there. Black Friday paintball gear is what they used to be called. And, BFP gear makes a little more sense because Black Friday was a little bit, maybe too Black Friday-ish. So BFP gear, they're a sponsor of this channel. And without them and super chats from Eric and like this one from Chris right here, this whole channel wouldn't be possible. So shout out to Black Friday, bfpgear.com. And then all you super chatters, Eric and Chris, you're freaking awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot I had my like little girl bracelet on. What we can talk about? Let's pull my notes up, and I closed my notes, and let's change the theme of this computer over to dark mode. And hopefully my computer works a little bit better this time around as well. I reinstalled Mac OS and we did like a clean install backup thing, and it definitely appears to be considerably better than we saw last weekend, or we saw last time. Tyler, very good question. How did the SAS demo go? We'll say the more of a test. I kind of wanted to test those inserts, and dude, I just can't find paint. I mean, still, I had HK level 3, HK level 4, tried, I think somebody had Valken New World, which was kind of random, and then also the Dynasty Banana Ball fill stuff, and it's all just still too small. So I don't know what I'm going to do with those barrels, those inserts. I keep wanting to test them, but it's so difficult to figure out which ones work. And I don't know. We just got to get paint that's actually will fit in the goddamn things. So, will rain and mud hit the Lone Star Fields? You know, I don't know. I totally meant to. We were going to talk about that a little bit. I actually meant to even pull up the weather for Dallas, but I totally forgot to do that. Let's just look at the rain right now. I know that people were talking about it a lot. I mean, obviously, if you're on the internet, you can kind of tell that people be talking about... That's not what I wanted to do. Dallas, Texas. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, people were obviously, we're obviously going to play Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And if we click into this Friday, we can actually... Friday, we can actually see precipitation odds. So, yeah, you're probably definitely going to get rain on Friday. Saturday, it just looks like it's going to be crazy windy. Maybe a little bit of rain at night, but it's going to be definitely windy out there. I'm not used to using this like on my computer. Where the hell's the wind? Am I like blocking it with my head? Nope, that's averages. Oh, there we go. Wind. Saturday. Oh, that's not too crazy. I mean, obviously gusts of 40 are pretty wild, but if we're at like 13 to 15, 20, it's not too insane. Sunday. It looks like at least the wind is trailing off. What's it like Sunday for rain? Maybe just a little bit in the morning. It looks like they were asking or saying there's going to be 0.8 inches on Sunday. Let's go. I keep clicking out of stuff. Friday, half an inch. Saturday, there might not be really any rain Saturday. Well, 0.3. A third. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like tons and tons of rain, though. I mean, you got to think about, at least this is Texas. And, Texas is obviously known for, like, crazy rain and weather and all that kind of stuff. So, it doesn't look that bad. I played in Texas before when the rain was just insane. And just, like, loads and loads of rain. And it was just a mud pit. So, who knows if it'll be that bad, but probably not. And YouTube says it's not receiving data right now, so I don't know what the hell's going on. Nightmare! Good day. Do like a virtual fist bump. More scared of fire ants. I never had a problem with fire ants either at tournaments, so I don't know. I thought the field looked really good, though. If we look, there was like the... Why do I have that on? I don't really want that on. I want that on. If we look at the field, I mean, they put some pictures out today of just what the field looks like, and it looks really good. I mean, the grass looks like pretty good. I mean, obviously the grass could be flawless. Like, that's pretty much perfect, but by halfway through Friday, it's just going to be either a mud pit, or we're going to just see huge spots of, just dirt baked into the ground. It looks good. I really like this Hertz stuff. I'm really kind of happy and excited maybe about Hertz sponsoring stuff and just having the NXL make a little bit more money. So I like these like big sponsors. I know it worked out for Hertz. Hertz is going to be, I think, the whole year. So they signed on the entire year to be a sponsor. Whereas that white bunker right there, that tower on the Doritos sides, is that Southwest Electronics bunker. And I thought that they were only going to be in Vegas for one event, but it looks like they actually like doubled it up and then got more sponsorship, which is cool. Pro Field, I was looking at brackets as well, and brackets are kind of hard. That's not the actual brackets. Well, let's look at that. I was gonna think about if I wanted to do like I wanted to do predictions for the tournaments, because sometimes I do that, but I really just feel like they're totally random. I don't like, I'm not going to sit, why does that say text? What's with that? There's like this text-to-text thing right in the center there. Schwartz! We're going to go back over. We'll come back to that. With that $9.99 super chat, dude, I appreciate those. You guys are freaking awesome. I mean, channel member people and, super chats are pretty awesome. When I get the second Gap Paintball issue, I want to send it to you so you can show it on the stream. That would be really cool. I would really appreciate that. Maybe though, I'm gonna try to get one too. I know that I know some people that have the first one, and I'm gonna try to get the first one. We'll at least try to have maybe the first one on the next live stream, and we can like flip through it and kind of read a couple things. But if not, dude, I appreciate it either way. I appreciate the thought and all that shit. Ben Lawton, what'd you miss? Not a whole lot. We're gonna go back to which tab was I in? I was in the media thing. Yeah, sometimes I want to do predictions and stuff, but I do really kind of feel like they're just random, and I'm kind of just guessing. I look at the top like 6 teams, and I'm like, wow, which one of these could win? So I'd rather, I don't know. I think just looking at these brackets, we can kind of equivalate the same thing or kind of get to there. I haven't even looked at these. Like, who has the hardest bracket? I don't know. I mean, what's the hardest bracket? I would say... I don't know. I mean, it's really difficult. I think that Group A, obviously that first tier is really good. That second tier is really good. The third tier is kind of on and off. Obviously Revo are good. Notorious have done pretty well. I don't know if the Bears are as good. Paintball Fit, obviously they're that new semi-pro team. I don't know. Group A is probably the hardest. Group A, what do you guys think? Group C is ridiculous. Group A is stacked. D is the gimme bracket. Sure, D is the easier one. Although Aftermath has been playing really well too, and obviously Heat and Aftermath are in there. But you do have Uprising, which Uprising's not as great. And Blast Camp's one of those teams that you don't know, right? I mean, they could play really, really well. Or they could, just do like they did in this last event, which was good in Vegas, but, not great. I mean, not like the level they probably expect to play at. Lots of stuff. C, A, D, A. Everyone's all over the place. C. Group C. I just don't feel that threatened from Infamous. I just don't feel like Infamous is that big of a threat. I feel like, if I had to play X Factor, Impact, Infamous, or Heat, I would probably choose Infamous, Impact, and then I don't know, either X Factor or Heat. I don't know. Uprising can beat anyone, they just aren't consistent. Yeah, I think that's with every team though, everyone's really, really, really good. But that's the pro division, that's pro sports. That's every single pro sport. You look at the NBA, and there's obviously a discrepancy between some of the best players and some of the worst players, just like paintball. But even those lower players, even the players that are on the teams that aren't as good and maybe they don't play that often, they're still extraordinarily, extraordinarily good. Just like all the Uprising guys, they're just all very, very good. They also released the 10-man layout, which we kind of saw a similar idea in Vegas as well. How it's kind of like part of the regular 5-man field. They kind of took parts of that 5-man field and kind of moved it over to that 10-man. Obviously, the Snake is very, very similar. How it pretty much goes the entire length of the field. Then we have that like diamond center structure that's also very similar. So they kind of take a couple features and then move it over. Putting the X over there is kind of crazy. I don't know when the last time we saw an X at an NXL event or PSP or any of that stuff was. They may have been using it before. I just really don't remember. But look at how small it looks. I think because it's on the 10-man field, it also looks really small. Just the whole size of the X, you know, look at how small it looks. It looks like a little baby bunker. But then I guess it's next to the wedges, so you can kind of get a better idea. I'm curious if it's exactly the same size as it used to be. It has changed a couple times throughout the years. So who knows? Ben, what'd you say? Damn, that's a shame. I hadn't seen their Vegas games, and they didn't ring a bell. But I figure they did okay at worst, but I guess not. I don't know what we're talking about. Extreme? Are they tier 5? They're not tier 5. I guess they are. I don't know why I thought there were 4 tiers. I thought there were like 4 groups and 4 tiers. They're definitely tier 5. I don't know. Extreme didn't. I don't really remember what Extreme did at the last tournament. I don't even remember. And then I was trying to go through these to figure out like what matches. You know, I've done that before where I just look at the matches and be like, oh yeah, we should watch this match and maybe go check out this match. But I feel like they're all interesting. Like every single set almost has something in that. Like we look at the first set and I really want to watch that. Like I'd like to watch Infamous and Damage play. Then the next set, we get to watch Blast Camp. They're a brand new team, so that's interesting to me. Then we have also in that bracket, AC play Notorious. And the next one, Red Legion and Damage play. Then the next one, Infamous and AC play. And then we get Blast Camp and Heat again. Then Red Legion and Notorious, which is interesting. And then we get to see the brand new rebuilt Ironman team play X Factor. And then that same bracket, Impact plays brand new team Aftershock. And then Paintball Fit play Nuke Extreme, and then Dynasty play the Ironman, which might not be that interesting. Hurricanes are going to play Aftershock. I don't know if I like that. The second to last bracket of the second to last group isn't the most exciting. But then Dynasty and Paintball Fit play. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like every single match is kind of interesting. And then here's the Saturday stuff. What's this Division 5 thing I just noticed in there? Tampa Bay Damage, AC Diesel, Infamous, Notorious, which is, I don't know. Houston Heat and Revo should be pretty good. Red Legion, AC. I mean, we talk about AC and it's like, yeah, they're one of the worst teams. They're typically not the team that I'm like excited, you know, we're typically not interested or excited about watching the worst teams. But there's such this like story with AC Diesel, you know, picking up all their superstars, doing poorly last year. And then, you know, a couple of those guys leave. Justin Rabikoff leaves. Alex Rodriguez leaves. So they have not as strong of a roster, but still very, very good. And they got dead last in Las Vegas. So it's just going to be kind of interesting to see how they bounce back, if they have a new game plan. Maybe they have a little bit more fuel and fire in them to possibly do better. We'll see. This next bracket, we have Notorious and Damage, which is, I don't know, Revo and Uprising. Then at 12 p.m., we have Red Legion and Infamous, which is good. And I'd really like to see Aftermath and Heat play, too. Aftermath has been doing really well, and it's kind of interesting to see them stack up just against better teams. Then we have the Ironman again. Newark Extreme, we just briefly talked about. Aftershock, ML Kings. This Saturday is not as crazy of a lineup, though. We have X Factor, Paintball Fit. That should be good. Yeah, it's kind of all, right? There's another Ironman Paintball Fit game. Those are kind of cool. Dynasty and X Factor to end the day, though, at that last set at 5:45 p.m. That's super late. So it should be a good tournament. You know, I really like these. I think it's fun to watch because, like, you know, we have so much interesting stuff happening with the Ironman, with AC Diesel, with Aftershock, Paintball Fit, Blast Camp. And then we have the old reigning top dog champions like Dynasty and X Factor, Infamous, X Factor. I think I said X Factor. Houston Heat is the name I was really looking for. So it should be interesting. We start tomorrow. Games start probably tomorrow at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So 6 a.m. for me. I'm probably not going to catch the first set. I'll probably catch the second one because I get up at around 7 o'clock. So We'll check that out. And here's the actual layout. If anyone missed, or you're not the most keen up on everything, we just talked about that 10-man layout right here. That's the 10-man right there. You can see it's way bigger, and you can kind of see those elements, right? We got that diamond structure kind of deal in the center, and then that crazy snake. And if we switch back over to 5-man, you can see it's kind of the same. It's just like a bigger version. And I didn't actually play the layout on Sunday. Was able to go watch Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday. And you know what we noticed? What I really thought would happen right away was that most teams would go to the snake off the break, and it does seem that that's the case, right? It seems like that a lot of teams are probably going to be trying to take the snake off the break, but a lot of people are also going to that center. There's a lot of action in the center. So even though the snake is kind of ladder style and really long, it's still not super easy to live in this snake because of all those center bunkers. I mean, you go to that wedge, that big wedge on that snake side, and it's fairly easy to kind of shoot the players in there if they're not really paying attention. So even though this snake is probably going to be dominant and you really kind of can crawl all the way down, I think that a lot of teams are going to flood a lot of people and go to those center bunkers just to kind of help keep the snake honest and make it a lot more difficult for that player to just go to the snake one and then just kind of crawl all the way down to their side. Because you can do it. It is possible. There's this tower. There is a tower on the snake side, though, that we can see it right there, that like big tower temple. I always forget the names of the bunkers. I always call it a tower. To the right side, there's that big stand-up on the snake side. And if you're in that bunker, too, you can actually kind of shoot down on the snake actually a little bit better than maybe shows in these angles. I think so, right? I mean, I remember like thinking I could do that. Yep. So it should be interesting. I think this layout's going to be kind of fast, at least in the beginning half of the tournament. Obviously, as we go into Sunday, which typically happens, everything kind of slows down. But I think it should play pretty fast. It should be interesting. It's pretty easy to make it to the 50 off the break, that center 50. Doritos are also kind of easy to play, although I didn't really watch the Dorito side because the pits are on the snake side, so we kind of like hung out on the snake side more so. We will find out, though, that's for sure. I certainly like these like kind of more balanced layouts that have attacking in both, or we should say attacking in like 3 quadrants of the field, right? You can be really aggressive on either tape side, so you can be aggressive on the Dorito side or the snake side, but you can also be very aggressive up the center. You can easily send 2 players up the center and then have them both go out to the wings and then just kind of shut the whole side of the field down. It shall be interesting, and we shall find out. What's chat doing? Do a double up home standing temple all day long. We're probably going to see, I bet, 3 people shoot off the break sometimes from back center. Because it is that temple, you really can shoot 2 guys pretty simple. I mean, you can have 2 guys shooting pretty simply. Let's pause on that. And then I think it's pretty easy to make it to these forward bunkers. Like, it's pretty easy to go to this tower into the game, right? As long as you don't have like a snake guy, like, I don't know, for some reason shooting this gap right here. Maybe he's engaging. You can't see my mouse. As long as it's on a snake 2 guy, maybe shooting at the tower out of the back center on the Dorito side, you can make that pretty easy, I think. So they're probably going to be 3 guys shooting off the break, that's for sure. I miss the middle pyramid days, like the big ass pyramid from like JT, like 2001 or something like that. Who knows? Ben Lawton from the practice video Go Sports put out, they said the snake tend to come in. The snakes tend to come into a halt once an opposing player is in it. So teams are making middle pushes. Yeah, I would say that's fair. I mean, it's hard for me too because I didn't really watch like pro players. I didn't watch any pro teams. It was like semi-pro guys and then like D4 and I think like D3 guys were playing. So it's kind of like a little bit harder. But I would say so too, you know, I was kind of surprised really watching, and it felt like more players should have gone to the snake off the break. And if you're watching, you have to kind of be looking back up the field. You know, you're running and kind of like looking down the other side of the field to see where they're going. And if nobody fills the snake with you, or nobody goes to like, I don't know, even this mini wed or mini W in the back, it can't really do anything. But you can really kind of wrap in the back snake corner as well. You can like wrap and shoot back up to the center, like shoot into the back center. But if no one fills that snake with you off the break, you really kind of can just crawl all the way to their side. The only thing that will stop you is probably those center bunkers. Those center bunkers can probably shoot you in the pack, or if you're not really low, they might be able to. So I didn't really see as much though. I really thought I'd kind of see more guys going there off the break and just crawl all the way down. I don't know. I did not, but that was not the experience that I got. Something I kind of have started on this YouTube channel in the past fair amount of time. We did Patreon for a little bit there. Why did that not work? Did Patreon for a little bit there. And now have you moved over to YouTube membership? So if you ever, want to help support this channel, and maybe you like paintball, or like some of these fair gentlemen in here, you can see that their names are green. Those are all YouTube channel members here on the Paintball Ruined My Life YouTube channel. So many words. There are 2 different supporting tiers here. We're only going to do 2. I might do 3 in the future, but there's this cool $2.99 one that gets you your loyalty badges. You can use custom emojis in the chat, like Fat Brad. You get the Paintball Ruined My Life. You get the Fog. You get 69. Yep. You also get it green so that I can kind of respond to comments better on YouTube videos and here in live streams. This pro version, you're going to get all that same stuff, right? All those badges. You get those emojis, but also early access to new videos. So whenever I upload anything, you're going to get about a week early than anyone else. There's exclusive member only videos. So longer edits of things. We'll put more gameplay stuff out. Like last week or 2 weeks ago, we were out at the paintball field doing drills and stuff. There's a 20-minute kind of, I don't know, drill video, hanging out, talking shit video on there. Right now for members, you get a 15% off coupon code to the Paintball Ruined My Life store. So if anyone's interested, certainly, it's very appreciative. It helps extraordinarily being able to fund this thing and help me continue doing it. So if you want, check a link in the description that says exclusive content. Or you can just follow that link right there on the screen, and it will take you right here. So you can look at some more stuff and kind of see what you're going to get. Like that right there. That's that Drill and Chilled or Rainy Day of Paintball. YouTube channel memberships. Check them out. It's really appreciative if anyone, wants to sign up. You get to use cool emojis like that. And I thought that too. So when anyone ever does this, if not that one though, there's all these custom emojis. So anytime someone uses this, I'll hit the fog button. Woo! He doesn't have a gaming PC, so probably not. Talking about me? Definitely not. We do 3 of them? Although it doesn't really like, it doesn't stop for a long time. I thought about putting a fan. I need to put like a fan over there so it like moves the fog around. Ooh, what's the cup? Tyler's using the cup. I thought it was a piece of cauliflower. My ear? Oh yeah, you guys don't... You like my Lone Star logo in the corner? No one said anything about my Lone Star logo in the corner. It's kind of funny. So look at... It's like me, you know, as a cowboy. It's kind of cool. Oh, cauliflower, the emoji. It kind of looks like a fart, though, too. It's like a cloud. Yeah, it's definitely a cloud. Now I want it to go back to like it was. Can I like... There we go. That's the official Paintball Ruined My Life Lone Star Open. Whatever. The cup should... The cup should be a cold press. I want to know why we're talking about computers. Ah, that's why. Brandon said, "Have you tried the Paintballers game? They just released their beta." No, I don't have a PC. That's some brands kind of said that. I even thought about like installing Windows and trying to do it, but no, I haven't. I even went through getting a beta code all earlier than we were supposed to, and tried to do it all, and then went to install it on Steam and was like, oh. Lone Star Brad looks like he should be in a 1990s PC game. 100%. It's like a real life cut screen versus in game. What the hell? I like remember playing some Wild West shooter game back in the day. I can't for the life of me remember though. Dwight's brother. What was his brother's name? He worked at the farm. He was at the beet farm. But didn't he run all crazy? Didn't he like run with his arms like... He didn't like move his arms when he ran? That's funny. That's great. Moose? What's his name? Moose? Moose. Mose? Moses. I like Moose. I think you should go by Moose. Moose is way cooler. Hogan's Alley, sure. Hogan's Alley paintball team. Oh man, Amish Paradise. That's a good song, dude. Amish Paradise is legit. I know, it is kind of funny. I made a bunch of those. I made a bunch of like funny pictures and like AI Texas pictures of me, and they all have a beard like that. They're kind of like all like longer on the sides. So it's like they look like super Amish. That's funny. Yeah, that's right. I think Ben, someone mentioned it in here. I think it was Ben. He said that the Lone Star practice video. Let's watch some of that. I actually didn't watch any of that, so let's try to like watch a little bit of that. I put it in here so we could watch it. I'm gonna put headphones on. I don't know how Go Sports feels about me completely rebroadcasting their stuff here. But, you know, we'll find out. They didn't like it. I also get worried about like audio stuff.
Teams, Infamous, X Factor, Heat, and Impact. We're playing like full matches and match-like scenarios and just battling out and swap.
Someone with a super chat. Why do I have the members thing? It's still freaking on, dude. Because it needs to do this. And then I need to go back to the browser. But sometimes it doesn't work. Ben with a friggin' super chat. We better get A greasy Atlanta City mob boss for Brad Dixon. Okay, for sure. I put some more on Facebook. There's some more. There's some more pictures on the Facebook account. There's like 4 of them on there. It was pretty funny. Get a promo code for Go Sports. I don't think that's gonna happen. I wish. We could only hope, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Justin Cornell. No, that's not Justin Cornell.
The amount of talent and elite teams that are here at this practice. If you're not here, where
I thought
are
that
you?
was
You
Randy.
know, we're out here just throwing bows.
Just throwing bows, bruh. We're gonna leave the audio right there.
It honestly is probably one of the most
Colts
elite
took a hot one in the neck.
practices we could actually put together in this season. So we have the opportunity, we're graced with it for Alex Martinez to host everything. It's going great so far. Very, very competitive practice.
So it was X Factor, Infamous. X Factor, Infamous, Heat. Who else was at this practice? Tyler. Get bunkered by TJ Dan. The Danarino! Sorry, that might have been loud. Clap, clap.
The last event, we played the Russians.
I don't
in the
like white
quarterfinals,
bunkers.
and in our opinion, they didn't beat us. We definitely gave it to them. We were up in all those points or up in position.
Well, if you gave it to them,
felt
you'd
like
have
we
beat
made
them.
some mistakes. So we're just trying to clear those up and play a little tighter and a little better as our team, not make those mistakes. And obviously, we're getting more prepared for this event.
So you know how to line yourself up?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. We're so used to having like pro teams come out here and practice here in Sacramento at like Capital Edge, mainly because Dave Baines owns Capital Edge, the coach of Impact. But this weekend, nothing happened. It's very weird. What the hell's going on here? They're kicking field goals. That's a pretty weak field goal. That's Fedorov. He doesn't play lots of football, I don't think. The laces were in! They were in!
I was looking at breakouts, and on breakouts, to me, guys.
This is classic Dave voice. On breakouts to me, guys. Jack Donaghy? Jack Donaghy from, what the hell show was Jack Donaghy on? Jack Donaghy was on, 30 Rock. 30 Rock. 30 Rock from the Sun, and he talks like this. He doesn't really talk much louder than this. This is Jack Donaghy's voice. This is max volume Jack Donaghy. That's like Dave. Dave talks like that. You can hear it right here.
Get out of here.
He talks real soft. Okay, we didn't hear it there.
I'm talking to the Tontons.
De Tontons Flinger?
They play the same layout in Europe, so they just had to practice and we tried to...
Is Axel playing with the Tauntauns? Someone fill me in chat. Is Axel goddamn playing with the Tauntauns in Europe?
share the informations.
Very traditional, very old school X-Ball style where you're really just winning gun battles and making quick moves and getting in the snake and going to work. So I'm really excited for the tournament. I think it's going to be great. If anybody else wants to coach for X Factor.
Schwartz, he is playing for them in Europe still. I assumed so. I was like, why is he saying they're playing it? So I don't know.
You understand what I'm saying? They're not in our shit.
That was not Jack Donaghy voice. That gun looks good. I like that ammo. Huh. I kind of like that.
Because I went to the two, shot the one. No. I stood up. He was going slow.
I hate those masks. It's like the worst mask ever. The Flex 8.
I feel like
Dun, 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 dun,
You know what will suck though is like being this tower guy.
Damn, you're probably not going to see that move a lot, though. What is happening? I gotta learn the YouTube shortcut. What are, like, YouTube hotkeys?
It's like,
Yeah, you're definitely probably not going to see that move often.
Stuck walking to it. And
Running and shooting off the break all the way around the corner to the snake. That's like crazy.
you know what will suck though is like being in this
That's
tower
not gonna
guy,
happen.
It's like so much pressure on you to actually hit your shot. You know what I mean? 'Cause it's like a big fucking gap. You're the only guy shooting it. It's like it's clear as day if you miss him.
it's one guy, you're running.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck.
Why don't you make a list?
A Flex 8 or a Proteus? Probably the Proteus. The Flex 8s don't fit my head right. They're like so narrow. They're just like freaking narrow. So they like just squeeze the crap out of my ears. And they kind of hurt my ears after a while. So I'd probably go Proteus.
Like I like the move. I like the move. You know, if we're down maybe another, but we gotta learn to play these situations, right?
Although I don't know. Good luck finding a Proteus. It doesn't feel like it's gonna fall apart. I guess there's somewhere out there.
You know, that's a coin toss each way. We want to play. We want to play a 2-on-2 because we're better. Yeah, we'll be better at it if we talk. And I'm glad we won. Don't get me wrong. But this is just the shit. You know, on Sunday.
Connor Kelly. He's done super well for them. Yeah, it'd be cool if they brought back the Proteus. I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, I think it'd probably sell pretty well. You know, maybe make it a little bit more modern. Kind of do what maybe V-Force did with the Grill 2.0. Just make it a little bit, touch it up a little bit. Make it a little bit more modern.
Yeah, we lost a heartbreaker at our first event in Vegas. You know, Sunday game. Hurricanes went into triple overtime.
When you get the one-on-one guys and they just have a different one-on-one style.
Yeah, so Barrett is fully committed here and also.
Yeah, this really
getting a lot
sucked.
Closer to that buzzer.
Oh, Barrett got caught in the arm there.
Oh, Barrett getting shot and the pit explodes.
So cool
here
for
the
Daniel Camp, though.
Hurricanes.
It's so great.
Like Daniel Camp's gonna be
I mean, the Hurricanes played out of their goddamn
Victory
minds.
against Joe Barrett.
So it's really cool to see that and
I
do
actually
well.
lost a one-on-one to lose that match, and you know that's rough. But at this level, you know how to be stoic. You move past
That's how it is.
The only thing you really take from it is the lessons, and it's a hard lesson to learn, but it only makes us all stronger. Our team knows what we have to do to not put ourselves into that position, and I've been personally working my fucking ass off to make sure that never happens again to me.
The Infamous. I really like these things. I like how Ghost Sports goes to the practice and stuff. They've done that this year. I'm a fan of that. I like it. Dub C with that 1999 super chat. Spring pump event this weekend at Extreme Paintball in what's that? Milstead, Illinois. I want to go play pump. I got to do that. I want to play pump. We'll have fun. I mean, I always like those events. I think it's fun to do, you know, non-tournament kind of events. It kind of has a better community aspect and feel and stuff like that. So I'm all about it. Have fun. I do got to play pump. Milstat. The D throws me off. I'm like, Midilsted it. My eye is itchy. Look at that drone shot. Isn't that cool? Kind of wish I had a drone. I feel like I could get in trouble for this music or something, so I'm not going to play this music really loud. Milstat.
Talking with Ronnie, but it just nothing ever got over here, and it was a 3-on-1 on this side.
I mean, good players is just gonna crawl into the next, and you can't even stop that. The only thing that actually can stop it is this fucking bunker.
Or you know, I'm also in the Godzilla.
Yeah, or Ryan. Yeah, Ryan can also stop it as well.
But someone should know that
we got to be a little more proactive and just saying which way we're shooting and which way we need a guide to shoot. Working it out. And I know we can. Like, we were
It's so
halfway
funny.
there,
Mishka,
right?
his headgear on the far left, you can see his head right behind Moorhead's shoulder. That like Black Star headgear he's had, it's like 20-something years old. Maybe 20.
Keep doing
Maybe
the
a
same
little
thing over and
older.
over again, so we're gonna try some new things and see if we can keep learning. Top secret.
We're not telling you.
Top secret. The more I start to watch, Ben says, the more I start to watch smaller teams, aka not just Dynasty, the harder it gets to root for one in particular. I'm a Canes fan and started to watch Aftermath now too. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I especially feel that, like, you know, I've been in paintball and watching paintball for so long that there's no question when I first started, I was a fan of Dynasty. I mean, they were the best team. They were, you know, from my area, and like it was just kind of cool. So everyone liked Dynasty. Literally everybody all over the world. And I don't know, as I grew older and got way more involved in paintball, I just didn't care as much. I mean, I care. I don't really care about a specific team, though. I'd rather see, I say this literally every time, I'd rather see teams like the Hurricanes or Aftermath do well, because it's just more interesting. You know, it's just a little more exciting, and I really like the stories behind that, too. Like, the Hurricane story is really good, or the Paintball Fit story is really good. So I kind of like watching those teams more. Yeah. Earhole the money.
Send him into the zombie.
So yeah, it's a very traditional looking layout, but it's really not playing that traditional. Everyone
Eddie!
looks like it's a super long snake, so they're gonna powerhouse through it. But as soon as another body gets in there with you, it really slows the games down. So you have to look through different options through the center or through the Dorito side. The Dorito side's definitely a little bit harder to make off the break than the snake side is. So the center's pretty powerful. So we're looking to center our bodies through there and see how it goes.
You know, for Dallas, you know, we get a redemption match here. It's only in the prelims, but, you know, we're going to get to see Aftermath again, so I wouldn't expect to make that look pretty. You know, we're going to play Revo. They came out pretty strong through the prelims in the last event. We did play them, and we smacked the shit out of them, and we'll probably do that again. Pretty excited about that one, and then, you know, we're going to play the new team Blast Camp.
Chad's super funny. I like
Chad. Good match with there. But, you know, 2024, Dallas, it's going to be exciting, and I'm ready for it.
When all the cylinders are firing, our team is playing at an elite level. So the next few days will be to make that a consistent thing, and then I think you're going to see a very, very strong Infamous at this event.
We'll see.
Going into this event, X Factor is really hungry. You know, we had a tough first event, went 2-2, and then lost a buzzer beater.
Astra. Whatever happened to Astra?
Right now, and so we're coming in this with a lot of fire to try and take the claim.
Are they still around doing stuff?
So, you know, we're definitely trying to show out for the state of Texas and looking forward to it.
Yeah, Lone Star Major, Texas, we're ready. Impact's coming in, and we're feeling good. We're feeling prepared. Let's get it.
Get it! Let's get it, dog! Why am I hitting the stop record button? I'm like ready to hit stop recording on the live stream for some reason. You know, that's the practice report, guys. Go watch the whole thing. There's actually a link below. You can actually go listen to it for real instead of me jibber jabbering in the background, making it worse. Doesn't Meter own Astra? Yep, he does. Him and like Ryan Brand, maybe? Or maybe Ryan is doing project with Archie. I mean, there are so many goddamn paintball companies. That's crazy. I mean, there's like every day I find a new headband company. It's just wild. I mean, there's so many freaking headband companies. It just reminds me that, like, you know, I started this whole goddamn selling headband game way back in 2001. And if you want to buy any Paintball Ruin My Life headbands, another way to help support this channel. I saw Ben earlier, Ben Lawton here in this chat. He bought something. He actually got a 15% off coupon code because he's a pro level member, a pro level channel member. We'll just say that. I gotta learn how to start saying that better. You can get a whole bunch of stuff. There's lots of designs. You can see them all kind of rotating here. You can follow that link, or there's a link in the description as well, right over to merch stuff. They're $30 a piece. They ship for free in the US, so $30, you get a headband shipped. Bam. There was also a $75 3-pack that you can get a 3-pack. You can see some of them right there. Oh, they smell. No, they don't smell. They're not going to smell weird. Yeah, go buy some freaking headbands. Help support the Paintball Ruined My Life experience. And get a cool headband. Astra used to have a tournament series, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I know that they made like clothes and like, or they were gonna do a tournament series. I don't know. I don't remember. Here we go. Schwartz says, MLG, they did have one tournament for low-ranking pro teams and high-ranking semi-pro teams, and Blast Camp won. I kind of remember that. Preston says, I wish there were more paintball manufacturers here in Denver. Working in the industry would be cool. Yeah, I mean, you got to go to Taiwan. Pretty much. You got to go to Taiwan. And speaking of Taiwan, I actually talked to Ninja earlier this week. And they gave me a little bit of information on tank stuff. So last week we actually talked about the HK Army Alpha tanks. And let's see if we actually have any Alpha tank information. I guess I got rid of it all. Or deleted the images. Yep. So I talked to Ninja and got a little bit of tank information. So there was kind of a rumor floating around that those HK Army tanks weren't actually correct sized. And they technically are not. It's a long explanation, but they're technically not. So they're all sized actually in liters. So if you look at like, I think the 68 tank, it's actually a 1.2 liter. Maybe it's 1.1 liter. But either way, it's actually a 67. It's a little bit higher. It's like 67.13 cubic inches or something like that. So like technically it's not a 68. But I think it's so close that it doesn't really matter all that much. Loogie Gamer, I'll answer that if you want in a second here. I'm not finished talking about tanks. So they're a little bit smaller technically, and one of the problems with that is one of the reasons they're like that is that there's around the world there's technically 3 certifications for tanks. There's TC, which is Canada's like a certification process. In the US, we have DOT, so the Department of Transportation actually oversees all the tanks. And then there's an international standard called ISO. So, like this tank right here. So all these bottles that have like that label, essentially, are ISO tanks. And this is the same manufacturer that HK Army are using, and a lot of companies are using these. Same First Strike used this company as well. Valken have used them in the past. I mean, lots of companies. But we can see on this actual bottle how it says 1.6 liter. Right, if I can, there's so much glare. 1.6 liter. So it's not actually measured in cubic inches. So this is like a 96 or some weird size bottle. And what they do when they manufacture those is with the ISO certification, when they're going to get that certification for this bottle, they have to get every single size certified. So say this 1.6 liter, if they wanted to do a 1.59 liter, they have to get a whole new certification. Whereas with like Department of Transportation bottles certification, so like say this really old 68, this is a DOT bottle. So this tank was made in the US and only meets the Department of Transportation stuff. So this can only technically be used in the US. You can't take it to Europe. You might be able to take it to Canada. It probably meets the TC stuff too, but yeah. So every single bottle with those ISO ones, they have to get a new certification for, whereas the DOT standard allowed you to go either way. So you could get this certified, and that same certification that you got allowed you to actually make different volume tanks. So you could go up or down, I think it's 30%. So you could get one certification and you'd be like, oh, make a 62 and like a 74, or like you could make any tank size you wanted based around that same certification. But these ISOs, you got to do every single one. So when HK Army or First Strike or whoever go to AMS, American, or no, it's definitely not American because they're in Taiwan, but AMS is the company that makes these. And every single, or when HK, when HK goes to them to get their bottle made, they're like, okay, we have these 3 sizes, or we have these 5 sizes you can choose from. That's why they're like 1.1 liter and 1.3 liter. They just make like 7 different sizes and you get to choose from that. And if you wanted a custom size, like if they wanted to make a 1.21 liter or a 1.22 liter, they have to get a whole new certification. Whereas those things, they just got to get that one certification, right? So that's kind of why we're seeing these things made in liters, because they're from Taiwan, because they have that ISO cert, and they can only kind of make one of these per certification. But what's happening is the DOT is actually going to start recognizing the ISO certification in the US. So you technically only have to get the tank ISO certified. That ISO certification also doesn't require as much material as the DOT standard. So the ISO tanks like HK Army got are going to be lighter because they're only carbon fiber in there. Whereas these DOT approved tanks, not that one, these DOT tanks, like the Ninja tanks, are a little bit heavier because they have to use carbon fiber and fiberglass. Then they got to dip them in resin to be able to fill in the holes on that fiberglass. Whereas, the ISO tanks are just all carbon fiber. That's kind of why they're lighter. But ISO manufacturing, like I said, is going to work in the US now. So there is going to be an ISO manufacturer. There's going to be 2 companies that are going to be making ISO bottles in the US. So like HK Army and their Alpha tanks, Ninja will be offering extremely light bottle, just like the Alpha tank. Apparently it's going to be like, a fraction of an ounce heavier or something like that. And it's also going to be a different size. So those like HK tanks were really flat on the bottom, but Ninja want to make them really round, kind of like we've always seen on the back. And theirs is going to be a little bit longer. So like if we compare, say, a new Ninja tank sometime in the future, it'll be a little bit more rounder, but just as light as those Alpha tanks. That was so much information. Hope that made sense. Lots of tank stuff. I don't know. Yeah. And also something that's kind of interesting is, how First Strike had those tanks that were like a 37-year lifespan or something like that. But as soon as you bring them over to the US, they're only actually good for 15 years. So everyone that was like, oh, you can get a First Strike tank and it lasts forever, it technically doesn't. Because the DOT standard doesn't allow tanks to last longer than 15 years, and it's, in the US. So I'm a Schwartz. Everyone give the live stream a like. If you liked my big spiel about tanks and it made sense, hit that like button. Give me a little, give it a little juice. It really does help. You know, it helps the live streams and helps videos and helps everything. It's really easy. Just gonna do it. You know. Drab Sob says, should I wait for a Control 2 or should I pick up the Control, getting back into the game after a long time? I don't know. I've never seen the Control 2, but I don't really like the Control all that much, honestly. Yeah. I couldn't tell you yet. I would probably wait, just because, like I said, I don't really like the regular Control. And the Control 2, I haven't actually seen it yet, so. It just kind of depends on, you know, if you want to spend money or not. If you want it cheap, if you want a cheap hopper, I'd probably just get a Spire IR. That's probably what I would do. And Loogie Gamer said, thoughts on the Ether 3? I think the Ether 3 is literally the best gun maybe ever made. Something like that. You know, we talked about this last week as well. But if you go to paintballruinmylife.com/scores, there's this big ass chart that I've made. And I have the Ether 3M at the top of this, and I actually have the Ether 3 here, but I really like the Ether 3. I mean, I think the Ether 3 is fantastic. I mean, it shoots really well. I think it's the best feeling gun there is. So I really like the way it feels. And they're just such a good value that it's kind of hard to pass up, you know what I'm saying? Preston says, the button on the bottom of the Control ruins it. Yeah, I really don't like that. It's really kind of annoying. What's happening with the Triad? Did they fix the issues they were having last year? I don't even know. I am not sure. Who knows? They keep saying they're fixing it, and they keep saying it's getting better, and they're changing it, and it's going to come out soon. It never happens, and I don't even know. Who knows? I don't even know. Jordan Cotter, do you remember Stacko branded bottles that used to only be available in Europe? They were apparently lighter than anything else. Yep, I certainly remember those. I don't know if they would be that much lighter than those HK tanks, though, like the new extremely light tanks. They were really light, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, when tanks were a little bit heavier, so. Triad is getting its swollen ball test tomorrow. Schwartz says Spica and Span. I'm going to go with Spick and Span. Okay. Spick and Span. Said they had no issues with it last weekend. Well, I'd hope so, you know. I don't think that they would tell you it was bad. Maybe they have. I don't know. I could see Greenspan. I could see Ryan telling you it was bad. If I was on their team, I probably wouldn't, though. Just because, you know, they're kind of paying us. Crispy, I always have a rubber band around my Control. It loves to explode open. I had a G1 Athletics band that snapped the first time I tried to take it off. I don't know. Like you had that band around your hopper. Yeah, the new ones should be better. It's got a harder lock. The latch is different. And the top shell, or the bottom shell, is a lot stiffer. And I think one of the... I have a Control around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. Oh my god. There's hoppers galore. I've got like all the goddamn hoppers. Here it is. Yeah, I think one of the problems, obviously this latch system is kind of like not the greatest. But I also think it's got something to do with like how loose the shells are and how squishy the shells are. They're just not as like thick as some of the other hoppers are. So I think it being a little bit thinner, it even makes it like more prone to shifting or like compressing, and then it makes this like top lid come off a little bit easier. Something like that. Maybe. But the new one should be better. I don't like these. This is a hopper that I don't really like. The Speedster. I mean, it's okay. It's like literally the heaviest one you can buy. The good old trusty Halo 2. The Halo 2. It's beautiful. Dynasty doesn't seem to have a sponsor hopper. A few use R2s and Spires too. You know, I've noticed they also use Spires. Benjamin Nelson, what's up, Brad? Late to the party, but did you get to try the SAS insert kits? I've tried. Dude, I don't even know what to do anymore. I mean, I tried. I mean, the biggest problem is that paint, you know. This is like the fourth weekend that I've tried different paint companies and walked around the field to try to find paint that was, you know, really big that would give it a good test. But I just can't find any, like, I don't know, paint that fits in the goddamn thing. So, I don't know. Well, I don't know what's going on. One of these days, I gotta get a time machine and go back in time to get like 692 paint or something like that. Let's put some of these tanks back. I don't know. And he's just got my son the Speedster. Yeah, I just don't. It just matters who it's for, right? I mean, it's like super, super durable. And it's just basic, you know, they're not bad hoppers. It's just big and heavy. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing about it. It's just so heavy. But it's like, I mean, you're not going to break it. It's not going to break. So it'll probably work forever. So that's good. It's like made solid. LG, paint is shrinking so fast that we're all going to be shooting 50 cal eventually. Yeah, you're telling me. I mean, we're already halfway there. I mean, the paint's rolling through like a 6.68 or a 6.8. No. 6.86? No. What the hell? Oh, I don't even have my barrel. My gear bag's not even here. I left my gear bag somewhere on Sunday. But I don't have that barrel here. What the hell's the smallest Freak XL insert that comes in the kit? 6.68? It might be 6.6. No. 6.78. 6.78? Maybe it's a 6.78. I don't know. It's not 6.68. That's crazy. Ben, you're going to the gym. Have fun. I went to the gym earlier. Well, the gym's my living room. Gotta get smaller than the bunkers. I'm still behind. I'm gonna get bigger. I gotta do the human bunker video. I really want to do that. Ben Nelson. I had a random batch of HK Army level 3 paint that I had to use a 695 bore to shoot. That's crazy. That's a random batch. You know, this weekend I tried the level 3 and level 4 from HK, as well as New World, and I think some other HK Army like custom stuff that I don't know what it was really. I think it's like a 3 or a 4 combo or something like that. Ernesto 678 676. I think it's 676. It might be 678 though. I don't know. Either way, it's really small. You can buy smaller inserts. They're separate, but they don't come in the actual kit. Ethan Shelton. Hey, Brad. Hello, Ethan. I just got a Geo4 and I love it. Have you messed around with the whole e-portal thing at all? Nope. I never. Literally never. I mean, maybe once, you know. But even you know, working in paintball and fixing paintball guns for like 10 years every day, I still never did it. I don't know. Yep. I mean, the only thing I felt like the ePortal was useful for was changing the boot screen. Like if you want to make like a custom boot screen and stuff, it's kind of cool. But I don't know. I never found it like quicker or any reason to change the settings and stuff. I guess if you're like trying to make custom firing modes and you want to do a bunch of custom modes, it might be easier. But me, you know, at the store, like fixing stuff, we never did that. I'd always put stuff back to stock. So I'd like do factory resets on boards and stuff. So I didn't really mess with the ePortal, really. I mean, I recently looked into it to see if they still did it. I was writing something. I don't remember, though. Nicholas, hey, Brad, did you talk about the new... No, I didn't talk about the new Empire Reg. I totally forgot. Let's do it right now. The Empire Flow Regulator is not right there, actually. They have a video of the Empire Flow Regulator.
I've been an engineer in paintball for 22 years and have
Yeah,
delivered
let's full
some of the
screen
most
it. We're going to turn the music down, too. I have a feeling we'll get taken off the internet. Yeah. So this, the new Empire Flow Pro Regulator, they're going to show it here in a second, is, I think, $119.95, $110. It's $110 alone if you want to purchase it all on its own, or $270 when purchased on a 68 4500. And the thing that, you know, I took away from this was, and I've seen this in person. I've not taken one apart yet. So this is the first time that I've actually seen it like exploded like this. And my God, that is so many parts. It just looks like so many parts. Like there are so many pieces and doodads and things. It's like, I don't know. It just looks overly complicated. It's just crazy. I mean, there's some neat features. It's neat how you can actually externally adjust the pressure. So you can, they'll show that here. Eventually, we will see said regulator. Talking about rotating the bonnet. So, I also don't really like this either, right? So, I don't have a regulator in here, but you can rotate the threads just like you can really all the other regs. You know, like the Powerhouse reg, the Ninja regs, you can rotate the bonnet or the threads to properly align the fill nipple and gauge so that they're like vertical or however you want. So you can see that you have to like do a couple things though to be able to do that. And it's not necessarily difficult, but the way you rotate this is you have to have this lock. So you put this like key on and then you can rotate the threads around just to kind of like align them like you want, which is fine. It's not really like bad. But I definitely think it's a little bit harder, right? Because you have to align it and then take it off. You have to rotate it and then put it on your gun to see if it's lined up correctly. Whereas like, say the Ninja ones, you just loosen the screws on the side and you can rotate the whole thing when it's on your gun. So it makes it a lot easier to rotate it and just lock it into place. You don't have to like fiddle with it as much. Where this thing, you got to like adjust it, put it on your gun and be like, damn, it's off by like this much. And you got to take it off and then tweak it again and kind of keep going back and forth. So I think I'd rather have the rotation thing adjustable while it is on the gun. But definitely holding them, they're made very well. They feel really nice. It's not like it's poorly made or anything like that. I really like those flush burst discs on the side like that. Really cool. And the main thing, like I said, it is externally adjustable. which is this right here. So you, I believe, adjust that like brass looking screw, and you can kind of see how it moves that piece. It rotated that piece around. So it's putting more pressure on the spring stack to cause pressure to come out. And I mean, that's another thing, right? Like, it's like cool, but I don't know, like, how many of you guys are adjusting your pressure that often? Like, no one really adjusts the pressure that often. I feel that, like, you know, I make it low pressure and I'm good to go. I don't really like, you know, I'm not like constantly adjusting the pressures. So I feel like it's cool that it's externally adjustable, but I don't quite understand, you know? And it's just a lot of pieces. Like let's try to find a, I'm going to, actually, we're going to stay right there. We're going to go Ninja Pro Regulator Exploded. Let's see. I know the manual has like an exploded view, but this image is just really bad too. Man, all these pictures are like really, really shitty. No, that's definitely not what I wanted to do. I don't know. These pictures aren't very good, but we can at least get an idea of, you know, how many, I feel like how many more parts are inside this. Like if we look at, obviously this Ninja, this photo is terrible, but there's just so many more parts. Like, just look at how many pieces there are. There's all these little, like, screws and, like, there's these, like, machine head screws that are, like, inside the regulator that screw down. I don't know. I just feel like there's too many parts. And maybe they made something overly complicated that didn't really need it. I don't know. That reminds me of the old 90-ish regulators. Yeah, I mean, how they're all adjustable from the outside, but it really does feel good. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's like poorly made or anything like that. It does feel like a good regulator, but it definitely feels a little bit overly complicated, maybe. I heard they had 11 engineers working on it, too. So that's a lot of fucking b-ball. Artomag RT, you got to get one of those super high pressure tanks. Matt! Sir, Matt, one of the beautiful channel members here, must have a German guy as their engineer. Just too much stuff. Just over-engineered. You're right. I don't know if it's a German guy. He wants to be German. Some brains. There were 3 different gems of Cocker chamber back then. Had to crank it on the Pro 98 guns and 95s. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tyler, do they make a hopper that holds a case of paint? Nope. I mean, probably the closest you were going to get was the Pinocchio. The Pinocchio probably held like 450 rounds, I think. Maybe it was a 450 with the nose connector on it. Those things were so ridiculous, though. I mean, you don't want to have a case of paint, though. Jesus. Could you imagine carrying a case of paint around your gun? It'd be like huge. It'd be huge. Jordan Cotter, Angel Air digital regulator was neat. Yeah, I've talked to a couple of manufacturers about making digital regs, and I think the consensus is it doesn't really make sense, right? I mean, the biggest problem is you've got to have somewhere to have the battery And then do you want a screen on the regulator? I mean, stuff just starts getting, I think, a little bit too big, right? I mean, if you could make it like normal tank rig size, that'd be awesome. But I don't know if it's possible to make a good regulator that's electronic, that's a reasonable size. And it'd be difficult to make it a screw-in. You know, the Angel Airs weren't screw-in tanks. They were like bottom line mounted or whatever. So you had to like physically mount it on your gun. How about the paint ban at Giant Party Sports? What about it? I definitely don't know anything about that. They banned paintballs? They banned paintballs at the paintball field? I don't know. Nick, I wish the GI Sports Hopper with the built-in chrono worked out better. That's another thing I don't really get. Like, why, though? I'm not like saying it's not cool. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it's really kind of neat how they were able to do it. But I don't know why, like, I mean, I guess it would be kind of cool to just know, right? To just every once in a while be like, all right, I'm still 280 or 290 or 295 or whatever. My velocity's not creeping up. So I don't have to turn it down to make sure I don't get a penalty. I guess that would be good. I guess that would be cool to know. But I think for the average person, it probably doesn't make much sense. But I could see if you were like a tournament player and you could like always know your velocity. But then all the radars aren't consistent either. So, you know, yours might be a little bit lower than the field one too. But you could test that. I mean, as soon as you tested the velocity on their radar, you'd know. So, I don't know. I do think it's kind of cool, though. Chris, they banned HK and Vulcan. Probably Vulcan. How about... No, Vulcan. They're Vulcan, right? No, that's not Vulcan. Shit. No, that's Vulcan. I'm thinking of Romulans. That's definitely Vulcan. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, right? Doesn't Geo, like, they're all, like, GI buddies. So they probably just went to field paint only. More so, I would say, than banning brands. Or maybe they're allowing other brands still, but if you don't let HK paint in, I mean, HK is probably one of the bigger paint companies right now. And Valken, so, huh. Matt Loffing says, like the level indicator on the control. Not sure why that's a thing. It was another thing that was like cool. You know, I'm actually glad. I'm glad they tried it though. Just like the, you know, the GI Pulse RDR, their hopper, or the Pulse Radar or whatever. I'm glad they did it. You know, it's not like I don't want to see people try. You know, of course I want to see cool stuff. And, you know, the level indicator, it worked. You know, it technically works, you know. I think I probably don't have batteries in here either. It kind of feels like there are, though. Yeah, I definitely turned the... I don't know, did I turn it off? I probably did. Yeah, it's definitely off. It's cool, it works, but it's like, yeah, I don't know. And who knows how well it works. I don't know if it's like super accurate, you know, it's like it technically works. Yeah. Anyone remember those hoppers setups that we're going to go with, that's without the loader on the side of the marker? I remember Tom K. It was probably the warp feed. Yep, just like Jordan said. I'd love to get a warp feed. If anyone's got a warp feed laying around, let me know. When will Empire bring back high-end markers? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. I know that there's work on a Vanquish. I know they started work on the third Vanquish. I don't know It was like 3 years ago I heard that. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I mean, I feel like that company's all insane. Like I don't ever know what they're doing. And I think it's kind of hard for companies to keep track too. And people and players, everyone hard to keep track of. It's like, I don't know why. I just don't understand. Like there's JT, and then they kind of like don't make JT stuff forever, and then they try to bring JT stuff back, but it's kind of just shitty stuff. Like the pants aren't that good. They're making those weird jerseys. Like they don't really make anything. They have Pro Flexes, but they're labeling the JT Triad JT. I think it'd be better off naming it Empire and trying to keep those brands a little bit separate. I mean, for a long time, Empire was like their higher end tournament product. And it just makes a little more sense for them to call it the Empire Triad than the JT Triad. But, they think that JT's got some better name recognition or something, so they're going with that. I don't understand. I mean, none of those companies make anything anymore. And Empire used to make all kinds of stuff. I feel like the Halo is the only product that Empire actually makes. Empire needed a high-end gun because they were forcing teams into those full packages. That's true. They were kind of pushing that. So I don't know what they're trying to do now. I don't really know either. I don't know those packages at all. They're still offering them for sure, but it might just be all kind of paint incentive based. They're probably selling like team packages where you get like, your jerseys made and packs and all that same stuff. Maybe just not having the full gun packages like they did. Because they kind of always offered that, right? That if you were getting a Vanquish package, that was their high-end one. Where they also had a package that was just pants and a jersey. John Wick says, I'm getting into watching NXL Paintball. Welcome to the Lux experience. Trying to figure out what team is my favorite. But it's hard to choose. How does someone decide what team to like when getting into watching a new sport? That's a good-ass question. I would say, most of the sports, right, we're going to root for home teams. So, like, say I live in Sacramento, and Sacramento had a pro team, Sacramento DMG for a while. And, I was kind of a, fan of DMG just because they were local. So it was like, a little bit more fun. Just like Matt said. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely more fun to root for a team when you're watching, though. It's like, watching the NBA playoffs right now, I don't really have a team in the playoffs that I want to watch or that I'm rooting for, but I'm going to go for Dallas and hope that Dallas goes far. So when I'm watching games, I'm going to be like kind of rooting for Dallas in sort of way. What I think that the Go Sports and the NXL would like from us, at least, is I think ideally they have like storylines we can watch, and maybe we relate to some of the other guys more or players more. And I root for the teams that are just, underdog-ish, because it's just a little bit more fun to see them win. So I don't know. I mean, I would say that most of this stuff is all local people, but I don't know. I think about like other sports, and most people that are rooting for teams that like a team in a city, like say you're rooting for the Lions, the Detroit Lions, and you've never lived in Detroit, it's always kind of like a handed down thing from your parents and stuff. Like, oh, my grandpa was a Lions fan, or, I don't know. That's a good question, though. Good question. Tinfoil hat. Empire wants the F1 Force to be their top tier marker. I don't know. I mean, do you think that the Dynasty guys would sell Field 1 though? I don't really think they would. Yeah, I don't. And I don't think if Dynasty was using that, it probably wouldn't be as popular either. I guarantee it wouldn't be as popular. You never know. Ernesto, well, that's about team stuff. We need a women's lingerie paintball league. It's called the WNXL, except for they wear paintball clothes over their lingerie. Do they still do the lingerie football stuff? Nicholas Blevins. Why is DLX the only company improving the markers? Dye and Planet have had what seems to be the exact same marker for 3 years now. Well, that's a bold statement. I think everyone would disagree. Kinda, right? I mean, if anything, I think that the Luxes have been the same forever. I mean, it's very difficult to tell the difference between like the very first Lux, the Lux 1.0 that was released in like 2007, and the Lux Idol now. Like, if you don't really know what you're looking at, it's kind of difficult to tell. Whereas certainly the Planet Eclipse guns have changed. I mean, if we go back to 2007, what, the 07 Ego or like the G01, I mean, they're considerably different, I'd say, than the CS3 or LV2. I wouldn't say, I'd say that that's probably kind of what we're seeing all around, though, is guns not change a ton. You know, if we look at the Lux Idol that just came out, right, the Lux Idol that just came out isn't really that much different than the TM40 that they released like 2 years ago, you know? Just like the CS3 isn't all that much different than the CS2. Yeah, I think that Luxes have constantly have like these little changing, rolling updates. The dye guns don't change all that much. I just think we've reached a point where everything's pretty good. You know, all these guns are pretty good. So it's kind of hard to make improvement. So a lot of the improvements we see are just incremental design improvements, right? They're not like huge, oh my God, you're going to get double the air efficiency now. I bring up phones all the time, you know. It's like, you know, yeah, this iPhone's like way better than the, you know, first iPhone in 2007. But it's not all that much different than, you know, one from 4 years ago or whatever. You got to go like 10 years before we see anything. Yep. Who said that question? Which crazy person said that? Nick, I thought you commented again. That's kind of why I was looking to see if you replied to me again. Jordan, DLX has been worse since the ice. Really, in my opinion. That is your opinion. In my opinion, the X was their first copy of the Gamma Core, and then they're slightly iterating on that. Also, the X moved manufacturing to Hong Kong. Really? You're sure? I'm skeptical about the Hong Kong thing. But yeah. I don't know. I liked the X. I don't know if it's better. I don't know if the new guns are worse, though. I mean, I wouldn't say that they're worse. Yeah, they're not much different, though. I don't know. I think I might prefer the way the TM40 shoots and the X maybe over the Idol just a little bit. Just a little bit. DLS was a disaster. That's true, Dan. Definitely a disaster. I think overall markers are just peaking at what can be improved. Not much can change anymore nowadays. See, Tyler, I just don't. I hear what you're saying. That's why I'm like, it's just kind of slowing down. So it's gotten harder to improve stuff. But, you know, everything gets better. You know, at some point it'll be better. I mean, maybe not, you know, the next version might not be dramatic, but, you know, I guarantee you in 2055, paintball guns are going to be way better than they are now, as long as we're all playing paintball and all that stuff. You know, it's like we always think that. You know, I remember in 2001 when I thought that. You know, so it's like, you know, the Angel LCD came out and everyone was like, I can't believe this. No, how could anybody make a better paintball gun than this? Like, well, they did it. I don't know if Angel did it the next year. It took Angel like 10 years to make a better one, maybe. Tiger toot. TM40 shoots fantastic, but does seem to have design flaws, like the battery, retention clip. Battery and retention clip. Which retention clip? TM40? Well, either way. For sure. 2055 is 32 cal. I'd be okay with 32 cal. If we could like shoot 450 or 500, I'd play 50 cal. The problem with it is though, when you get to that velocity, shit gets all over the place. It's like shit gets, you know, gets all squirrely and shit. So it's kind of hard to get paint to shoot straight at that high velocity. I'd be down though. Just like 50 cal wouldn't be that bad if it shot straight, but it doesn't, you know. Yeah, all these guns have little design flaws, and I don't know if they're like design flaws. Nah, I guess they are. It's just like areas that could be a little bit better or maybe a little bit more improved. They all have little freaking little weird quirks and stuff. But thankfully, most of them don't really affect, you know, how the gun works. It's like the battery terminal thing and the little like plastic clip that holds the battery in on the TM40. It's like, that's not the greatest. And obviously, if you're losing battery connection, that's definitely affecting the way the gun shoots. But, you know, taking the battery out and stuff, it's not, I don't know, you know, it's not like the biggest problem. Tiger to it. Yep. Stuff that doesn't get looked at until you have hundreds of testers. It's also true, right? It's like, we see that with all the companies. It's like, you know, they'll come out with something and then, you know, after 400 people use it in the first day or 1,000 people get their first guns, it's like, then they figure out something because, you know, they didn't think that someone was going to take this screw and screw it all the way and then bend the Allen wrench up. You know, it's like people do the craziest shit ever. And the people that are like building these guns are experts, right? So like, you know, I would say that I'm an expert at like taking stuff apart and putting it back together paintball wise for sure. So I'm not going to probably over tighten something or break something off or do anything crazy. Whereas you get that gun in the hands of someone who's been playing for a week and, you know, they're cranking on stuff and doing all kinds of crazy shit that you're like, what are you doing? Like, don't do that. But you don't think about those things because it's a little different. We need wearable AI and device register hits. That'd be cool. You gotta wear like we'd have to wear like some nanofiber suit though. You could feel the like, but then you'd go out on bounces and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. Tyler, thinking of going to the NXL as a spectator, what one would be the best? I'm thinking World Cup. Yeah, World Cup or Vegas for sure. I think mainly because there's like a lot of stuff to do outside of paintball, right? You know, you think about Vegas, and obviously there's all kinds of stuff you can do in Vegas. And the same thing with World Cup, right? I mean, both of those are two big tournaments. They're definitely the two largest tournaments. And there's just more stuff to do. You know, my World Cup's cool because there's so many teams. There's a bunch of different formats you can watch. That's typically when new products come out. You can go around to all the vendors and stuff. I'd say World Cup. I'd probably rather go to Vegas though, just because it's so much closer. I mean, I gotta, you know, flying from California to Florida takes like 7 hours, so it's a hell of a trip. John Wick agrees. I don't think I finished watching John Wick 4. It just got so ridiculous. The show's just insane. Or movie's just insane. John Starnowitzki? Starnikowski. I don't know. I have no idea. John, they make nets for backyard trampolines. Could they make nets for backyard gel blaster mini courses by doing so, recruiting young players and growing our sport? I don't know if they need nets. You know, I really don't even think you need nets. I mean, the gel blasters don't really go far. So as long as you're not like deliberately shooting over like, you know, the fence in the backyard or whatever, you probably don't need net even. I mean, they really don't go far. I mean, you hold that thing straight and it goes like, you know, a tenth of how far a paintball goes. So I don't even think they need them. The thing that's weird about the gel blasters, though, is I wonder if people get those and then I wonder if they do figure out paintball from using those, though. I don't know. I don't know if they're like playing paintball or playing with the gel blaster stuff and then going to play paintball. I really don't. They are cool. I really just I talk about this all the time, the paintball field. I really just wish that like some company would figure out a way to make 68 caliber like Orby, you know, little gel blaster things. I wish they'd make 68 caliber versions. I don't see why they couldn't. I don't see why that, like, I think in the current formation those are in, if you just made them 68 caliber, they probably would be a little bit too brittle and they'd probably break a little bit too easy. But I think if you made them a little bit thicker, say we like tripled up the thickness of the actual walls on those things, they wouldn't like, you know, get all big over in like an hour. You might have to let them sit overnight. But there's no reason I don't think you couldn't do that and have 68 caliber versions. They'd be clear, you know, maybe they don't shoot as straight, but I think it'd be awesome for, you know, practice or, you know, target shooting and doing snap shooting drills and stuff. Because I mean, think about it. If you could buy like practice paintballs that didn't actually have paint in them for like $15 or like $10 for a pack of 2,000, I mean, it'd be crazy. I think it'd be something very interesting and something that the paint companies would absolutely hate. So, you know. Benjamin Nelson. Brad, are you going to do another watch party stream for NXL this weekend? I'm going to try to on Sunday. And my goal is to try to do it on Sunday during the finals, the exact same way we did before. So that is the goal. Whenever the finals are going to be on Sunday, I should be here. If everything works out. I gotta go help my aunt do something, so hopefully I'm here. The finals are at like 5:30 probably. So that means like 3:30 or something. We should be able to. Bartender said I use Reball for some basement practice. That's pretty cool. I like that idea. I used to shoot Reball inside the store and just cover our eyes. We used to shoot into the corner. We used to have a pistol and I'd be like, bang! It'd be like, ting, 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 ting. It was fun. It was definitely dangerous. Definitely dangerous. Saturday is when hopes and dreams get crushed, though. Yeah, it is true. That's when all my hopes and dreams get crushed, at least. Saturday after I wake up and I'm like, Friday, what did I do Friday night? My girl didn't like me. All right, I'm going to go eat dinner. We're going to go to Rey Azteca and get a Mexican food. I got to take a shower because I worked out like 2 hours before this and I'm kind of like sticky. Like that. Guys, if you want to, think about going over and checking out the channel memberships here on YouTube. You can sign up for a membership. You're going to get 10% off. You help support this goddamn channel. There's 2 different levels. You get that support tier and that pro tier. You can get some early access to videos, exclusive member-only videos, discounted merch, a 15% off merch code to the Paintball Ruin My Life merch store. 15% off all merch at Paintball Ruined My Life shop. Check it out. It'd be cool. At least look at it. All right, guys. I'm out. I don't know what I'm going to eat. What should I eat? Well, Mexican, but what should I get? I kind of just want enchiladas. Maybe I'll just get chicken enchiladas. Enchiladas? What do you guys think? Enchiladas? Fajitas? I don't know, fajitas. Chinese food. I can't get Chinese food at a Mexican restaurant. That would be kind of funny, though, if I just ordered Chinese. Got it delivered. Oh, yeah, maybe I will just get, like, beef tacos. Like, shredded beef. Shredded beef? Yeah, maybe ground. I don't know if they have ground beef. I did think a quesadilla. As soon as I said enchiladas, I was like, a quesadilla. But quesadillas are kind of lame. I feel like I can make a quesadilla at home. Carnitas? I don't know. Or an orange chicken burrito. That actually might be kind of good. An orange chicken burrito. I think he might just come up with something. Chili verde. Chips and salsa. You are looking a little fat these days. You know, I am pretty heavy. I weigh 210 pounds right now. This is the most I've weighed since high school. So I did have horchata yesterday. No, yesterday I had some horchata the other day. I do weigh 210 pounds, the most I've weighed since high school. So there, you know. Most people are trying to go back to their high school weight. Well, I don't know if I am. I don't know. Oh, I'll weigh 250 and I don't think you guys would even notice. The chili replenish burrito. Is that like when you eat it and you just keep getting more? You just let's replenish it. Ooh, I love chips and salsa though. That's the problem though. Sometimes I go to, which I actually kind of like because I'm broke and cheap. So I'll always like eat a bunch of chips and salsa, and then I'll have like bean dip and stuff, and then I'll just eat a shitload of that, and then I'll eat like maybe half my food, and then I'll have more for later. So, Brad, how long can we still access all Patreon content on Patreon? I mean, you can still do it right now. It's still up there. If you can't join or anything like that, but it's paused. So Patreon, like no one will ever get charged on Patreon again. I paused it a few months ago, and not a few months ago, a few weeks ago. I don't know when I gotta like unpause it. It only allows me to pause once a month, so I gotta unpause it. At some point, I am gonna like get rid of it though. Probably like a month, I'm gonna guess. I don't know, somewhere around there. Almost all the same stuff is here on YouTube in the members only kind of area. Margaritas. I'll definitely have a beer. I don't want a margarita. You know, I really wanted there was mimosas. It's like, I want a mimosa. I don't know why I thought about that. Nice Rolex. Does that mean my Rolex? It's a digital Rolex. Does Rolex make digital watches? Huh. Anyway, all right, I gotta go. I gotta take a shower. I gotta be there in 40 minutes is a while, but I gotta shower. Thanks, guys. You know, Sunday, I am gonna try to do a live stream during the finals, so you can come back then. I'll try to have it like set up or whatever, so you can kind of tell ahead of time. There'll be like a schedule it or whatever. In the meantime, thanks. Is that a Garmin watch? That's a Garmin watch. It's Garmin Instinct. All right, guys. Keep it real.